I always try to get used to this camera. I don't know. This camera is something. I think I'm right. Okay. I think I got it right. Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Step, and I just had another court proceeding today. And I said to myself, you know what? You got to roll with the punches. Yes, I'm actually under litigation with my narcissistic mother and flying monkeys. And I'm going to tell you the story, but I can't tell you the story just yet. I only can tell you bits and pieces. So, until all is over. And it's almost over to go with this madness, but then I could be able to tell everything. But for right now, I'm just going to share what I can share. So again, today I went to court and I had thought about it. I said, as the court proceedings were unraveling, going in place, I was noticing that I'm the plaintiff and they're the defendants. And the numbers were starting to kind of dwindle down. It started off with a mob, and the mob, as the court proceedings to the next hearing date and the next hearing date, just kept getting smaller and smaller. And now it's actually down to just 2 people. And I just looked at them and they smiling, they acting like it's like, nothing. It probably isn't nothing to them. But to me, it's like I'm just like this totally blown. Now, one person had stated, and like I said, I only can share what I can share. But one person has actually stated that they know they have no proof that I did certain things, but I know. They said, but we know she done them. We all know she done them. And it's like, how they didn't see how some of the workers that was in the courtroom actually looked at them. It's like, how dare you accuse people of doing things, but yet you don't even have any proof. And for so many years, I was always getting blamed for everything. It's like a habit. It's like a vicious habit. And it's just, I remember another YouTuber on this subject has stated that it's like a cancer. And I'm starting to see it, just as they said, it spreads like a cancer, meaning that when you have someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder and their manipulation and the way that they influence and persuade people around them, it kind of spreads. It's like people buy into their bull crap. And those who buy into that bull crap, then they have others who join in on that bull crap. And sometimes they don't even realize that they have joined in on the bull crap. They don't think, it's like they don't realize it. I don't know why, but it does happen. It seems to happen like that. Take for instance, I will share this much, that one of the court proceedings from actually last week, believe it or not, that is over, so I can share a little bit of what happened. Now, last court proceedings, an individual had tried, I put a PFA against a handful of individuals. It was a mob that came after me. And in retaliation, one of those particular people, there was a relative, put a PFA against me. And the PFA they had put against me, they tried to say that I had harassed them by way of calling them. But guess what? I never made the phone call. And guess what? Even though it was, how can I say this, proven, I didn't never call them at all. At all. It wasn't me. They blamed it on me, but it wasn't me. So they blamed me. It was actually them calling the person calling them. It was like people were calling each other, not realizing they was calling each other because they didn't recognize each other's phone. And then the one party who put the PFA against me had got someone else who was a relative to call that person. So that person agreed to, they blocked their number and they called the so-called strange number. Well, that strange number happened, believe it or not, to be another relative. And when they got their voicemail, they actually thought, well, I'm not even gonna say thought, they didn't hear anything on that person's voicemail, what we found out. But when they went to report back to the person who asked them to check the number, don't you know they had said that I think it was, they thought it was me? No voicemail, don't recognize the number, but because they all been talking and the smear campaign go on, the person said, I think it's that person. But it wasn't me, you know. So to make a long story short, when all of this had came to court and all of it had kind of unraveled out that no, that person phone number belonged to another person. And when y'all were calling around, that person had their phone. I had nothing to do with it. I don't own the phone. I didn't have the phone. I wasn't nowhere near that person when they had their own phone. That's how stupid it got. So of course, yes, it got thrown out, you know. So, but I just wanted to give that example of how a smear campaign can actually go on and how cancerous this narcissistic environment, narcissistic led environment can be. But see, there was the flying monkeys that were doing all that. Um, so, like the title of my little YouTube today is laugh. Sometimes, you know, you basically gotta laugh at the bull crap. You have to laugh at the crap. You have to laugh at them. You have to laugh at your circumstance, you know, after the initial, you know, and how dare them and how they, you know, emotionally put you through whatever they emotionally put you through. After you deal with all that, you gotta laugh at it. You have to like release it after you have vented in that way. You have to actually kind of come back and just laugh at their asses, you know. Call them the flying damn monkeys, but say it in a way that, you know, they crazy, you know, they calling you crazy, but you're not the crazy one. They sending themselves crazy because they're trying to live underneath that influence of someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder, and they don't realize that they're little puppets on a string and they're being manipulated, and they are not even aware of it. Some are naive, some got a hint, but they want to go with the flow, so to speak, go where the crowd goes to, ride the wave, so to speak, you know. And when you have people like that, that just shows how many people are very much followers and are weak-minded, you know. So you have to, like, after you get over the part that it has offended you and has definitely defamed your character by thinking that you would even do what they're trying to say that you did that you didn't do, then you have to laugh at them because they don't really understand exactly how twisted that they are following behind somebody that don't even mean them no good, be honest. You know, so I I know when I'm getting over something because I start to see the humor in it all, and I actually do start to laugh. I start to laugh. And I started laughing today. But I've had a whole lot of court hearings behind it because it dealt with a lot of people. It actually started with two individuals, but they had drawn in others, the fly monkeys. Um, and then as the court proceedings kept continuing, they started dropping off, you know. And like I said, now I'm down to two and stuff. And who knows, maybe these two will get the picture after the next couple of hearings and we can really resolve it by, and my resolutions for them to leave me the beep beep alone, okay? Or, you know, they get sued and so be it. I actually have more than what they have, you know, but if it takes them to have that type of tap on their hand for defamation of character, for them to leave me alone, and for them to constantly just learn how to live their life without me, that's fine and dandy. You know, I'm already to claim my freedom. I'm already to claim no contact. I don't discuss anything with them unless it's legal. and that's it. And I think that's what bothers them a little bit, because I've already started the process of walking one step in front of me and started a new life. And I've learned a lot from this experience. I've learned that no matter how good you are to people, that they can actually still do you wrong. And I mean, the two individuals who, one was at the court, well, not two, actually all of them I helped at one point in time. But most recently, the two individuals that I was discussing, far as one of them calling the other person and blocking their phone to check this. Um, I've helped them, and the thing about it is, when I help people, I really do it from my heart. I really do. I don't be thinking of them giving anything back, just helping and going about my business. But yet, at the same time, with circumstances like this, it makes me angry because, like, for instance, the person who I'm actually going to court against, one of those individuals, I actually, they used to live with me. They used to live with me. I helped them at a time when they were in need, because, you know, at one point in time, I was in need. Who's to say I'm not going to be in need in the future? So they needed a place to stay. I let them stay with me. It was very obvious that they did not want to go, because they only supposed to have been with me for 2 months, wound up being with me for about 8 months. And in the meantime, they were able to get up on their feet, pay back bills, and each month past our agreement, which they only supposed to be with me for 2 months, I kept on saying, hey, you know, you got your own place, you got to get your own place, you know, and it was a constant thing. Of course, as time goes on, it was like they barely had that much to pay, because the more important thing is I wanted them to get on their feet and save the money to get their own place. So I was charging them at the most like, at first it was 200, went up to 400, because before they left, it was raised to